Okay. One thing which we noted significantly was Limpopo, in all the statistics of the country, if you see it high, it means it is negative. Where it is low, it means it's positive. Meaning to say, if you want to look at, for example, dirty sources of energy used by households, the figures are higher in Limpopo. If you look at poverty, the figures are higher in Limpopo. And if you look at other services which are positive, the figures are lower in Limpopo. Then I said to myself, oh, that's where we can show our relevance. So our Department of Physics, working together with colleagues from other departments in the faculty, now in the faculty but who used to be in other schools, we came to start some engagement with the communities. We go to the communities, we take information as to assessing how the communities are, living, trying to get their challenges, doing awareness of the possible technologies which can be applied. And here we are doing a number of projects on biogas. And for those who may not know, this biogas is converting waste to energy at household level. So to me, it resonates very well with the concept of smart cities, but starting from the individual household and rural communities. I believe that for it to be workable as a smart city, it needs to be surrounded by people who are self-reliant, who can produce and contribute, significantly to the economy of the country. Selling, taking their produce to the smart city and exchanging, having that nice relationship between the villages and the communities. So the communities which we are working in so far, I can say, we are working throughout the whole province, from Vembe, where we belong, to Waterberg, going towards Gauteng. We get support from international organizations and also national government. To start with, we got very good support from LEDET, 2013, 2014, where we presented our case after having demonstrated at the university the concept of biogas and what it can do to the household. So we asked for assistance from LEDET, and LEDET gave us support to train our communities. We trained about 10 youth from the communities unemployed, and they built only 9 around them. Then from there, we attracted attention of funders. So we got a project from United Nations Industrial Development Organization, which then we said, for this technology to be properly taken in, we needed to go into the communities and train all possible stakeholders like the youth who are not employed, school leavers, and the training will be in part theoretical. I don't know, my slides are not moving. Okay. In part theoretical, where we are training the technology at theory level to say what is it about, right? Then we go into the second phase where we are training practically, where now the youth are taken into the actual sizing and building of these structures. One very important about this kind of projects and where we see our relevance in is we are talking of unemployment in the province, which is very high. We are talking of food shortage. We are talking of utilization of wood for cooking and heating, which is rampant in the province. So the technology of biogas is actually answering to those challenges. It is converting waste from animals, which is digested, producing gas which has a lot of methane, which if it was not passed through that process, it would be emitted to the atmosphere and still damage the atmosphere. So from there, the gas is being used to cook, replacing the cutting down of trees for firewood. Then the slurry, which is the byproduct, the leftovers after the gas has come out, is given an improved manure for farming. So what are we doing? We are integrating energy generation for household cooking and heating, and fertilizer, replacing the chemical fertilizers, going organic. So these communities positioned in that way, looking at this new concept now of smart cities, smart villages, they will be, if properly supported, more confident to get in because they will be contributing. I still believe that the smart cities, those who will be there, they still need food to eat. And maybe that food can be really coming from these communities as well. So that exchange and putting in the technologies of communications that will even improve them to get to the better markets, say in the Gauteng area, through phones and so on. So in the stage now we started off training youth, but now we are even getting into schools. And this is one of the things which we really think as a government and us from the university, we can work together to make sure that we realize this goal. Schools, we are introducing the Young Farmers Club, which do feed digesters. You know that in our schools, we have the National School Nutrition Program where children are fed, the food is cooked there. So now we are saying we are bringing entrepreneurs whom we create, who work at that school, using the unutilized land at the school to do gardening, piggery, and poultry. And a group of learners from grade 8 to grade 11 come in as groups of young farmers club, although not yet farmers, but they learn to be, so that we have them replicating what they are learning from what is really happening at the school, at home. And if they've got some pieces of land, they can do that and mentored by this entrepreneur who is working at the school. For us, we are saying these learners, at the time of their exit from even grade 11 or even grade 12, they are not going to be desperate to look for employment because already they have started earning money when they were at school. They will be developed, and in this we are already working with LEADER. We are processing a memorandum of understanding to work together so that the training of enterprise is coming from LEADER, and we are also working with Wcita for accrediting the trainings which we are doing. So we are saying, in short, the sustainable development goals, the smart cities, the smart villages, may need to be looked at starting from the grassroots. This is our point, to say, as university, we show our relevance by going to the grassroots and start making the impact there, preparing the communities to get to those levels when these new strategies come, they are prepared to take them up. I know I was not following any slides. I think you can just scroll down. I just want to show some evidence of what I'm talking about. Right, this is too small, of course, but you can see from the left side, we have got animals which include cattle, pigs, chicken, and so on. And there we've got farm residues, and those are mixed with water, getting into that structure which is at the central, which is a digester, and that digester produces, you can see the other side is a clean, a cooking space where you are now cooking using the biogas. And the other part is the slurry, which now comes to go to the garden again. So it's like a complete cycle. You start from the waste and come back to the food generation. And going down, you can see a group of youth who are building that. What is it? Is job creation, and a decent one, right? Then the building of those, we are not importing anything. We are just buying from our local shops, right? So, can you push further so that I can, yeah, you can push faster now. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge when your slides are controlled from somewhere. Can you push them down so that I can talk to the next slide? Okay, you can pass. I think we already talked about that. Right. So for those who are interested in knowing a bit of some physics of this technology, the biogas digester, which we talk about, is a brick-built structure, built underground, and is a spherical shape. And the principle of its function, the inlet is where we pour the mixture of water and the waste, and it gets into that reactor tank, which then has the process of digestion. And the part which you see gas is always left empty without anything, so that when the gas is produced inside, it bubbles and collects there. And there it builds pressure, and that pressure pushes the slurry outward and it overflows. And we build some tanks which we call compost chambers. And those compost chambers, we are actually collecting the finished slurry, the processed slurry from the digester, which then we compost and make an organic fertilizer. All right? Then the gas is taken from the top going to the kitchen. And already you are cooking, there you are getting your fertilizer. Can you push it? Push again. Move faster. Yeah. Okay. So you can see what I was talking about. Very labor intensive, brick built cement. So all those youths who are idling in the communities, instead of leaving them like that, we prepare them to be, active citizens and contributing to the economy of the country by training them to build these structures, and then they form their groups of entrepreneurs. Already, as I have said, we have already 2 which are already running, which are actually employing these other new trainees as we go in the different districts. Okay, move. I just gave a summary of the villages where we have built the digesters. We have about smaller digesters, 112 units. Those smaller digesters, they are 6 cubic meter in total volume. They can produce about 1.2 cubic meter of gas a day, which can cook for at least 2 hours to 3 hours on one plate. All right? Then we have got also slightly bigger ones, which are 8 cubic, and the third one, 12 cubic, then the fourth one, 18 cubic. 18 cubic is very big. We have got very few of such. We did one at Tomislika, 2 units at Tomislika College of Agriculture in, I don't know whether it's Kukune, I think it's Kukune. Then we have got at Tiani Secondary School, very near us here, an 18 cubic meter digester which we put there. And at Tiani, this is the model school which we are working to do the agricultural part and start this Young Farmers Club initiative. Okay, can you push? You can push again. Push. Again, I just want to go to the pictures. All right, there, okay, anyway, you can stay, you can leave it there because it's the same thing. Here is the collaborators, organizations we are working with, starting from research, government, even individuals, United Nations, GEF, we are working together with them. Now, taking advantage of the presence of our government officials, we are getting support again from our local government, like the Capricorn District Municipality. We negotiated with them to say, we know that you are assisting village people with EPWP employment. And this EPW employment, to our eyes, it helps them to have income, but sometimes the work which they are doing does not add any value in them. So we negotiated and said, can you not support this initiative so that we train some of those beneficiaries to really do this work, and find a way of assisting the households so that they can, manage to get those. And we got from Capricorn District Municipality. So we did Polokwane, Blueberry under that funding. Then we are going to Moharapena. They have already promised. We are going to Maruleng. They have already promised. Fetakomo is still to come up. So we are hoping, maybe through the leadership, that if need is there for us to come and properly, present how it is done, to lobby for this, we will be very willing to do so. And we really hope if we all support that, we will be preparing for the smart villages and smart cities. Go down. I think the rest, yeah, you can just push. I don't know why the pictures are not coming. It's a bit heavy. All right. The map there shows the areas which we worked in the colored ones. The five districts. The only 2 districts which we did more than 1 municipality is UNIVEN and Capricorn. All right. Go further. So you can see how involving the work is. Surely those youths, they were idling, and now they are, gainfully employed in some way. All right, go further. Go again. This is Wcita, a multi-purpose cooperative, which we assisted in its formation, and it is in Gaula village. And these are the ones which built under our supervision the 2 big digesters at Tombisilika Agricultural College. So we are having already results coming from our training. They are already running, okay? Okay, these are some of the activities, training opening sessions here in Vembe. The guy who is standing there is the one manager for United Nations Industrial Development stationed in Pretoria, Mr. Nkwazi Moyo, and we were there also, official opening. The other guy who is on the left lower part is Mr. Rias Hamid from Sanedi, who is a funder to our project. Go further. This is just to showcase the training sessions, and is one of our trainees demonstrating, to the others how to, identify the measurements on a plan, on paper, and putting it on the ground. All right. Group photo. Most interestingly, if you can see that other group, those are the Capricorn District Municipality personnel who came to witness the training before they funded us. So they actually funded us after having been convinced that really what we were doing was something of value. We can go on. Just to showcase the processes of, from theory now to practical, they read the plan, they start putting markings and so on. So this is really something which these people are getting and which can be used even when we leave them. So that way it improves the sustainability of the whole thing. Moving further. Interesting stages of the building of the digester, starting marking, digging of the hole, concrete, bringing up the dome, and as you can see, finally, the structure looks like that. The first part over that side, okay, fine, no problem. You are a bit faster, but anyway, let me. Okay, so the last part, of course, I wanted to just indicate the most important chambers, those chambers which you see from the bottom right one. These are the compost chambers. And for us, those are the most important parts, the compost chamber and the gas. Because the compost chamber is the one in which we are actually doing composting. And the criteria for selecting households, they have to indicate that they've got a small, backyard space to do gardening. And they've got, of course, water, and they've got also, feed stock. And the feed stock is coming from these animals, which we talked about. Okay, go further. This one, I think for those who know, maybe our MEC may know, is the mayor of Blueberry. local municipality. He came to a field visit, seeing in his constituents what we had done there, and he was very happy. And that day, the project had only planned to build 12 for the households, but we were asked by the chief not to hand over before we build one for him. So we built one for him, a 12 cubic meter one, and for us, I can hear some people are laughing, maybe they think, for us it is very important because at the Wcita, every time we have people coming there, these are demonstration units which we are doing, and our intention is to sell the technology, and that's where many people are seeing it from. Already we are receiving calls to say, please, how can we help? How can we help? So we are happy with his a request for us to do it for him. Okay, let's move. I think the rest will be just photos. We also do research in the labs to characterize the waste, to see what is the potential of biogas of each and every waste which we use. So we've got students here who work right here at the University of Ghana. Right now, as we talk, they are in the lab, working to characterize some different types of our waste. Okay, move further. There I was testing a stove after plumbing was done, and you can see the flame. Special, you can't see it clearly because it is too blue. And too blue means too clean. You see? So for us, when we have that, we say we have contributed so much to the SDG achievement. I think you can just push the rest. Just push. These are now, sorry, go back to the recommendations. I think there I want to emphasize on the recommendation part. As I have already said, we are demonstrating and we are feeling that for all these talks which we are doing, we are thinking too high. Smart cities and really very smart. I saw the video, it was very nice, surely very nice. But if we don't bring up those communities to the level where they can really see the benefit of that, there are trends already moving. There are even good services in the malls, but some people may not have access to get there because of their conditions. So improvement of those conditions will prepare us to go without much resistance to our planned objectives. So we recommend that we reinforce support on these structures, and from government, if it is possible. I was even proposing with the Sanedi to say, we know that many of our community people do not have enough, feed stock to feed their digesters. Why not just trying to put in place some support which may restock their livestock. In Zimbabwe, we had a heifer program where a family would be given 2 heifers, and when those two give cows, the cows are not his, the first cows are not his, they go to the next. But it's a way to make sure that he has at least source of the waste. And for water, since our province is really water stressed, we can also couple it with rainwater harvesting. We have done that in the first project which we were funded by WRC. Water harvesting, putting a tank, if you put a tank of 10,000 liters at a household with a corrugated roof, that at one heavy rains, that tank can fill. And if it fills, you only want 20 liters a day to feed the digester. And after feeding the water, you don't throw it away. You can irrigate your crops. So you don't lose anything, but you can go over close to a year using that water if it is used for that. So that we need support. And we need also to keep on checking, putting our students, to engage, to apply do research in the field of biogas and do practice so that when they leave university, they are prepared to continue working in those communities or starting even new ventures. I thank you very much. I'm sorry if maybe it has gone over 10.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Tinarwo. We are in the crux of the matter, the matters that we were